listening to Sports Radio Detroit.
Hello and welcome to Grave Discussions. I am your host, Barnabas.
And I am your co-host, Samael. Welcome, lovers.
Welcome, one and all, to episode 37, Die-monds in the Rough.
So, today we will be discussing movies you have or haven't heard of. But either way, we think they're really good.
Yeah, we're going to be talking about a couple of films that we think are not really talked about that much or appreciated maybe as much as they should be. Just, personal selections, taking it kind of easy. But those are coming up in our main segment. And of course, as always, we're going to have the Cult Corner and the Chopping Block today as well.
Yes, I'm super excited.
Yep. Yeah, we picked out a great lineup of movies, I think, for you guys to check out, whether you're new to horror or a veteran or whatever. So, stay tuned for that. First things first, we do have to give a shout out to Sports Radio Detroit, the one and only, the best network of shows that you could ever listen to.
And you can find them on Twitter, Instagram, and Facebook. Just type in Sports Radio Detroit, SRD. They're the one and only and the GOAT.
Yep, go check out Sports Radio Detroit. And we're going to jump right into doing some news for you guys. Ooh. So this first bit of news.
This was pretty weird. So there's a mermaid thriller movie coming. I don't feel right saying that. Mermaid thriller?
Yeah.
What about a Care Bear thriller? Can we all agree that... All right. Even though the movie might end up being okay, can we at least agree that this sounds pretty ridiculous?
Yeah, it does.
All right, cool.
Okay. There have actually been quite a number of mermaid horror movies recently, which is strange. It's kind of a cool monster character, I guess, but
no, it's not. When I was a kid, when I saw mermaids in cartoons,
yeah.
The Little Mermaid, I'd be watching some stuff on Nickelodeon or Cartoon Network, and then there would be a mermaid. Hi, I'm a mermaid. I love a human, but I don't have reproductive organs, and I'm a half fish woman. Now it's like, I'm a mermaid and I'm going to eat your intestines. It's like some I think Cabin in the Woods is what started that whole. Hey, what if we made mermaids monsters? It's like, why would we do that? No, why wouldn't we do that?
Yeah, I mean, they called it the merman. I don't think that's the right word. Mermaid, I don't think that's the right word. They're sirens.
Yeah.
And those are actually kind of cool, because those are monsters in Scandinavian folklore and, other types of folklore in the world. Those are actual urban myths and stuff like that.
That's what they got to start calling them. We can't, I don't care how scary the mermaid woman or man is, all right? It's not going to be scary because you called it a mermaid. The first thing I think of is under the sea.
Yeah.
Under the sea. Every time you say mermaid, those three words pop into my head with that same voice.
Yeah. I feel you. I'm the exact same way. But there is one coming out. This one's actually an adaptation of a book called Rolling in the Deep. And the film has the same title. But the exciting bit of news about this is that Mary Lambert, who directed the original Pet Sematary film, is going to be behind this one as the director. So that's pretty cool.
I think it'll be good.
Yeah.
Just don't call it a mermaid. Jeez.
Yeah. So
what the frick, bro?
Because this is kind of coming off as, sort of having more horror elements. Because there's even a quote saying, "Our mermaids are not cliche, sugary cartoon princesses. They will take you down if you stand in their way."
I just won't go in the water. Try to fight me on land.
Yeah. I know, right? So this one is coming out. It also says the story has elements of The Shallows, 47 Meters Down, and even Alien. So be on the lookout for it.
I still haven't watched Alien.
I know, you're
even
insane.
During the month of October. I was going to do it. Then I saw the runtime and I was like, man, I really want to play Dead by Daylight soon.
Yeah.
So like, I just my ADHD just couldn't push me through it.
You must though. We should do it today.
I'm down.
Yeah, I'm down too. It's a phenomenal film, but we'll see what happens with Rolling in the Deep.
Now this next bit of news got me pretty excited because I remember, was it a couple, I would say about 6 months ago, I showed you this film, you know, and like, I don't know, I mean, we both seem to have really enjoyed it. So guys, in short, they're remaking Mad Men apparently. The 1981 slasher film came out around the same time as Friday the 13th. It was originally based upon the Cropsey murders, but the burning, you know...
Yeah, kind of popularized that more so.
So you couldn't just be like, hey, Cropsey's this guy. No, now Cropsey's this giant guy with suspenders and an axe. It's like, hey, we need some continuity even though it's not the same timeline. We can't just make two... It's like if we had two different Jasons. This is Jason Voorhees. And this is Jason Voorhees, but it's not the one you're thinking about.
Right. Yeah. I mean, I like the way that, you know, they took it though with the whole like campfire story thing, summoning him. Like that was really cool.
I like the song.
Yeah. Same. I can't remember how it goes, but
something beware the madman.
Yeah. Yeah. So, I mean, I like the movie a lot actually. And
you know what's crazy?
As
soon as we watched that movie, it started popping up on Shudder, Tubi, and everything. Yeah. Like, dude, like I said before. We are the consciousness of horror.
Yeah. I mean, all the news flows through here, you know, and it makes its way to social media somehow. So
it's crazy because, like, dude, like, as soon as, like, we decide to watch, like, a hidden gem that, like, either one of us haven't heard of or something, like, it pops up, oh, this one's being released on Blu-ray. Remember with The Unnameable?
Yeah.
Like, that's ridiculous, bro. Like, our timing is perfect. I think this is our calling.
Yeah, we're prophets, horror prophets.
We are.
So we'll see what happens with the Madman remake, because apparently they have been talking about it for a while now, but just recently the producer of the original film did release a couple statements. He said that the remake script has been written and that they're going through the whole process, contacting, you know, the industry, studios and stuff like that, trying to get it sold, essentially. So it looks like we are getting there really soon. And I am pretty excited about it too, because we've you know, like talked a lot of crap about remakes and stuff recently. But, you know, that's not to say that remakes are completely awful or anything. And I think for something like this, you know, I think it actually is great because it gives a lot of exposure to the original. Like, everybody knows Michael and Freddy and Jason and stuff. Like, not a lot of people know about Madman Mars, you know. Yeah. So remaking that is a good idea, I think, because it kind of, you know, lets more people know about, like, the movie and the character.
Yeah, because not a lot of younger people, I would even say people our age, they're not with, like, the whole culture. You know what I'm saying? Like, there's people that haven't watched, like, most 1980s slashers, and there's people like me who haven't watched Alien and haven't watched The Sentinel and haven't watched The Howling, and I could go on about classics I didn't watch, but I appreciate what they did. You know, I acknowledge them when people say, hey, what's a classic wolf movie? You know, I'll be like, The Howling. Have you watched it? No. Like, it kind of seems like a douchebag thing to do because I didn't watch it, but still, I'll be like, yeah, you know, The Howling or...
Well, I mean, you still understand. You know, you've heard about it enough and you've seen clips and stuff like that. So
especially on, like, the 100 Scariest Movie Moments.
Yeah.
That's, like, what like, really got me to, like, start looking deeper into horror because, you know, originally I was like, Jason, Michael, Pumpkinhead, Chucky. You know, I was just that type of guy, as I'm sure you were, and Ghostface. And then as soon as that 100 Scariest Movie Moments came out, and then FearNet started releasing all these old movies when Comcast still had FearNet, that's when I got, you know, accustomed to, like, these older movies, and I started, like, really liking them. I don't know why. I think it's just because when I was a kid, I'd ask my parents, hey, can you show me a scary movie? And then they'd play some 1980s stuff, you know, so...
I mean, they've definitely got a certain allure to them, which is why, you know, the remakes, a lot of people don't like them because you can't really completely capture that 80s essence and try to make it kind of modern. But
I think that's why a lot of people don't like remakes. I think if you watched the remake before the original, I think you would always like the remake. You know what I'm saying? Because, like, I watched the remake from Black Christmas, and then I watched the original. I still like the remake, but I thought the original was like, oh, you know, this is even cooler. I think that's because I appreciate older stuff. You know, I'm just that type of person. But, like, even Texas Chainsaw Massacre. I saw the '03 one before I saw the 1974 one, and I really liked both. So I think if we watch remakes first and then the original, I think we can like appreciate the original a lot more, because we can see like the new director's vision, the one that's doing the remake, and like which direction he wants to take it in, and you know, his version of it. And I think it's always interesting because had it been any other director doing the remake, it would have been a completely different movie too. Like remakes don't mean this is the original, but if it was today, it's like most remakes are just reimaginations. Like Friday the 13th, they combine like basically the first 3 films into one, and then Halloween wasn't, you know, I rewatched Rob Zombie's Halloween, and I gotta admit I was being a bit douchey because like I'm not gonna lie, I enjoyed it. Like
not part 2 though, but
no, not part 2. The first one was good. Part 2 was like a dumpster fire.
Yeah, I agree with that. So I actually do kind of have faith in the Madman remake. There's even the Gary Sales saying it still opens with its iconic campfire, which is good. It's just going to be a different Max telling the tale. But also he had been writing a female lead even before the movie became popular, who is going to be kind of a badass apparently. So yeah, I'm excited for it. I hope it does well. There's no, you know, date or anything like that yet. The script still has to be sold, so we'll see.
Let's buy the script.
Yeah, I'm down. You have all that money for crew and setting and everything. So let's move on.
I'll be like, yo, look, you guys aren't getting paid until after this movie makes money. All right, this isn't a gamble. All right, I'm not even investing in you.
Yeah.
I'm saying, yo, let's do this, see where it goes. Yeah, you know, we'll talk about royalties. You know, we'll talk about it. So we'll talk about not giving you any.
We'll see where it goes.
You agreed to work for free. There was no contract. You are screwed.
Now we're getting into real like indie film territory.
Right.
So speaking of not that, the Fun World is suing an NBA star for using the ghost face mask from Scream in his merchandising. So I just thought this is a funny article because this guy from the Boston Celtics, Terry Rozier, who goes by the nickname Scary Terry, there's another lawsuit waiting to happen right there, has apparently been using the ghost face mask from Scream on his merchandise and just, I don't know, I guess claiming that it's his own thing and like making money off of it. So I say good for Fun World. They're the costume company who claimed the rights for the original design of the mask. So, I mean, I think it's totally in their right to sue this guy.
Yeah, I mean, imagine if imagine I was a golf star.
Okay.
I was pretty boring.
Okay.
But I wore a hockey mask and called myself Jason Voorhees. Now they'd be like, hey, that kind of sounds familiar. Yeah. You know, I'd kind of be screwed there.
Yeah. If the mask was on like every polo shirt that you sold or something, like, hey, this is my shirt. Yeah. I mean, they would totally just sue the crap out of you.
Yeah, why not?
Yeah.
As they should.
So, yeah, I just think it's funny, especially because with the whole like Sabrina lawsuit and the Friday the 13th thing, it just seems like there's a lot of stuff that's just being, I don't know, like battled over legally lately, and it's kind of weird.
Yeah, I don't know. It's just, listen, economy's gotten better a bit, but we're still not doing so great. Yeah. So if you can sue someone, you better sue someone.
Yeah, I guess.
You might catch that might be your golden ticket.
Yeah, possibly. So, I mean, yeah, that wasn't really horror movie related necessarily, but I thought it was an interesting thing to bring up. If you like this guy, and maybe don't buy his stuff if you support horror movies, because it's kind of like a blatant ripoff.
Because he would not have came up with the ghost face on his own, No way.
Like, yeah, I'm just going to use these exact proportions, this exact pattern.
Right. How about we give this ghost peanut-shaped eyes and give it a long mouth?
Yeah.
Why would we do that? Because it's scary. To who? 7-year-olds from 1983?
Right.
What are you doing?
Yeah, I don't know. So I hope that he loses.
I hope he gets sued for Scary Terry too.
Yeah, I hope so. I was replying to somebody. I was like, man, Rick and Morty's going to come after him next.
Exactly.
Although I don't know when he started calling himself that. That episode was like a year or two ago or something.
Oh, much longer than that.
Longer than that? Yeah.
I think like 2016 or 15.
Yeah. I mean, I don't know what this dude looks like. Maybe he just was born and we're like, wow, we're calling him Scary Terry.
Well, what if he has like an elongated jaw and has like vampire teeth all over his mouth? Like just the canines, like no normal teeth. I'm Scary Terry. You sure are, fella. Which one of your eyes is looking at me? Because it looks like one's looking at me and one's looking at that guy over there.
Yeah, I don't know what he looks like, but I mean, yeah, maybe it's like, it looks like my face. What do you want?
They've been calling me Scary Terry since I was born.
Yeah, we'll see what happens with that. I guess be on the lookout. I'm not afraid for the Scream franchise or anything like that.
Yeah.
So let's talk about a couple trailers here that were just released that you may not have heard anything about. And then we'll get into our first segment. So
I think the first trailer, The Intruder, that's a remake.
Is it really?
Yeah, there's an 80s film. It's during the slasher era, or I'd like to call it the Michael and Jason ripoff era.
Yeah.
The 80s. This was one of those.
Okay. And it has basically the same premise and everything.
What's the premise for this one?
So this one is like
there's a lady and then a guy comes in her house.
Well, no, this one is a married couple buys a house from this one guy, and then after they start living in the house, he kind of starts like coming by unannounced, and it's like he's not detached from the house yet because I guess his wife died there or something. So he comes in and basically starts terrorizing them because he like still wants the house or something like that.
Yeah, this sounds stupid, dude. Like it's like, oh my god, at least like a different like premise. Let's buy this new house from this clearly not okay guy. My wife died here 7 years back. I never forgot it. Okay, weirdo, bye.
It just seems weird. Like if this guy was gonna be like that,
why'd you sell the house?
Eventually, yeah. Why did he sell that?
Just so you can kill people.
I have no idea. Obviously, he's disturbed, but the trailer looks okay. It's been going around on Facebook at least. I've seen it a little bit, but it's Michael Ealy and Megan Good, and then the intruder characters played by Dennis Quaid. So it's kind of interesting because we don't really see Dennis Quaid in these kind of roles. He's usually like the dad or something.
Yeah.
So he looks like he's going to put on a good performance. And there's also kind of like these homage clips to like Psycho and The Shining. Don't ask me why they're in this movie of all movies, but apparently they're in there.
Who knows? Maybe it'll be good.
Yeah. I mean, I'm holding out hope, but it's not like the most interesting one I've seen. Be on the lookout for it. It is coming out April 2019. This next trailer, there's actually no release date for this movie just yet, but this next one is called The Vanishing, not to be confused with the 1988 film of the same name. This one actually looks pretty cool, and it stars Gerard Butler.
Whoa, you're saying the old one isn't cool?
I'm sure the old one is very cool, but this has nothing to do with it.
Okay, just making sure.
Okay. Thank you for checking me.
Okay.
Okay. I actually just bought the old one on Blu-ray. Yeah.
Dude, why do you... Guys, let me tell you, Barnabas has a problem. He likes to buy 40 horror Blu-rays at once.
Yeah.
And then put off watching them.
It's true. I mean, I'll watch them eventually.
You see? That sounds like some crackhead talk right there.
I've actually got like 50 that I haven't watched yet.
I'm going to rehab soon, man. I promise.
Hey, it's hard, bro. There's sales all the time.
I know. I still haven't watched August Underground or James Bell's Tantrum. He's from Detroit.
Oh, really?
Yeah.
Wow. Well, we sure got some crazy people here, so.
He also has a movie called Nutsack.
Really?
Yeah, it's like one of those extreme cinemas that has like imagery and it's kind of open for interpretation. It's kind of like artsy, disturbing imagery, so I'm kind of into that.
Why am I not surprised?
Right?
So, yes, The Vanishing. As I said, this doesn't have a release date, but it is starring Gerard Butler and a few other actors. I'm not familiar with them, but I believe they're all Scottish. The film takes place on an island off the coast of Scotland, and it's about these three lighthouse keepers who, upon starting their shift, they find like this body and they find a trunk full of gold. And then basically they kind of have to like, sort of figure out if they can trust each other. It's kind of more of a thriller, but
If I was with two of my friends, hey guys, look at all this gold.
Yeah.
Cool. You want to split it 3 ways? Yeah. Nice.
Okay.
That's it. Like, it's not like,
But
then eerie music plays in the background. What if they're lying? And I slowly plot to kill everyone. That's.
Yeah.
I think a lot of real life is missing from these movies.
So here's the thing. You said that, and this is actually supposed to be kind of an adaptation of this real life urban legend.
Oh, urban legend. Okay.
Yeah, that happened. Well, it's not an urban legend, but necessarily. But basically, there's a story called the Flannan Isles disappearance or something like that.
Okay.
And basically, it took place on this one island where these lighthouse keepers randomly vanished. Like a boat went by.
How convenient.
Yeah, the lighthouse wasn't shining, and so there's been a whole lot of. And their bodies were never found. So there's been all kinds of theories and stories and stuff.
It's clearly Nessie.
I know, right? Yeah. It's obviously a freaking ocean serpent.
And he needs about tree fitting.
Yeah. So, I don't know. But this movie doesn't really seem to play into the supernatural elements more so than like the human ones. But yeah, apparently there's this body that they discover and that kind of leads to all these problems. But the actual atmosphere of the trailer looked really good and the performances looked really good. So I'm pretty pumped for it, regardless of what happens in the movie. But as I said, there's no release date yet for that one. So be on the lookout. The last trailer we have for you guys today is called Life Changer. And this is about a shapeshifter.
Nice.
Who has to go around killing people to like keep their body, because I guess their body like rots or something after so long, so they have to get like a new body and they have to kill people to do it. So it's kind of an interesting concept. And then there's also like a love story mixed into here. So the trailer looks pretty wacky and it's a cool concept. So I'm actually kind of excited about it. This one's coming from Justin McConnell, who is the director and writer. And it's slated to come out on VOD January 1st of 2019.
Nice.
Yeah, so I'm kind of pumped for it. I've actually read a few reviews and stuff, and people said that they liked it. So that's the trailers. Next up, we're going to get into our very first segment, but I forgot I wanted to say to all of you who celebrate the holiday, I hope you had a happy Thanksgiving, and I hope that you got real fat and then ate a lot of food and stuff. And if you couldn't do that, then I hope you helped out in the community or what have you. So,
I'm eating chicken for Thanksgiving. I'm scared of turkey.
yeah, there's been a lot of like salmonella or something going on.
Yeah, I don't want to die.
I think we're having turkey, but I hope that none of you died or got sick. We're going to move on now to our first segment. And if you've never heard it, we take a cult classic horror film and we basically kind of dissect it, what makes it, a cult movie, and just kind of talk about why we like it, what makes it good,
And for this week's segment, it's definitely good.
Yeah, we're going to talk about it next up in The Cult Corner. So in this week's Cult Corner, we have CHUD.
Cannibalistic humanoid underground dwellers.
Or better known as CHUD.
CHUD.
Yeah. So CHUD's a really cool movie. For one thing, because of the monsters themselves, the CHUDs. I think that the makeup on them, the practical effects was awesome.
I liked it. I thought it was going to be some like horribly, just wasn't perfect effects, but
yeah,
it was semi-believable,
Yeah, I mean, kind of. They acted more like humanoid because that's what they were supposed to be.
Yeah.
But I think the whole like eyes glowing thing, like I thought that was pretty cool.
Yeah, I don't know, just cannibal humanoid homeless people killing other homeless people who also live underground. We ran out of homeless. What should we do? Hey, look, a sewer.
But I did like the story. I mean, I thought that the story was pretty original.
I like that it wasn't a slow burn, and I like that like right off the bat, as soon as the ladies walk like with her dog or whatever, she gets messed up. She gets messed up real bad.
Yeah, she does.
Not messed up as in dead.
Yeah.
right off the bat.
There are kind of like a number of scenes in the movie that just kind of go like back to back. Like it's just people talking, all this kind of like political and police stuff, but it doesn't ever really feel like anything is slowing down or like not happening. Because I think that the like city elements are actually pretty cool. Because even though it's like a monster movie, it's got a lot of like, actual deeper themes to it, like the homeless problem and
I think that was the main thing.
Yeah,
about
like
this movie,
political corruption, and not
because
like
you've seen those, the I don't know what those government dudes like. They were covering this up. They're like, Chud doesn't stand for Chud stands for. I forgot what he said, but
yeah, it was something with like hazard or like hazardous waste or something like that.
Yeah. Fun fact: Peter McAllister from Home Alone and Marv the Robber from Home Alone are both in this movie.
Yeah, it's pretty interesting like casting, but I thought that the actor who plays Marv did a good job.
I hadn't seen him in any other films besides Home Alone 1 and 2, and this is the third film I think I ever saw him in.
Yeah, I've seen him in something else, but I don't remember what.
I didn't know if he'd be like a decent actor in a not family movie, but like,
no, he was good.
He was good. Like it didn't seem like cheesy 80s acting. Like he actually acted. Like, I was shocked.
Yeah, I mean, there was a scene like a little bit later into the movie where he and the one like good cop are sitting down with like the police chief, and then I don't know what the hell the other guy did, and then like one of like the heads of, I don't know, some like hazardous or like nuclear commission or something like that. I don't remember exactly, but they were sitting there and he kind of like had to stand up and he was like, flinging those pictures.
Yeah, when he's like, stuff. Look, you think anything human did that? When he had like the big chunk missing, he's like, I'm gonna show these to the press. Like.
Yeah, that whole like yelling monologue by him was great.
Yeah, I thought when he started being kind of a dick and like it was believable. Like, I mean, if they didn't want to freaking listen to him.
Yeah. I don't know. Yeah, like all the performances I thought were actually pretty good for like an 80s horror movie, especially like a low budget one.
It had that 80s vibe to it too. Yeah. Like because it took place in a city too, rather than like the burbs. Even, Peter McAllister was talking about it. He's like, your parents' house is in the suburbs. Why would we go there?
Yeah.
Let's stay in the city. Like no one in their right freaking mind says that.
Yeah.
All right.
Yeah, especially not around here, but
no.
That was also kind of one of the things, about like nice areas and like lower income people versus, I don't know, higher income people. It's kind of weird that it tied into the story of the Chuds somehow, but...
well, we got to focus on one normal guy.
Yeah, exactly. And he was kind of like our link to, the real world. And then we had in the sewers these like mutant monsters. Yeah. So it's a weird like contrast. And I almost wish that there were like just more scenes of mindless mutant monster violence, but
I just like that it was in the city because like you could see like a whole different like array of people, and you could definitely tell this is an older movie just by like how everyone looks, and it was just it was really nice to see. And like it didn't have any like, I think the cinematography was done well. They didn't really have like a lot of like moving shots. It would just be like camera sitting still while stuff happens, but like it didn't need to have over the top like dramatic cinematography. Like if it was made like let me think of dramatic cinematography, for example, like Insidious. Sure. That's kind of like with all the close-ups, the zooming in, the camera's like running after the people as the alarm goes off. This didn't have that. This was just really subtle camera work, which I really liked. Yeah. And the thing I liked the most about this movie is the score.
Yeah, the score in this movie was great. I liked it a lot.
It was like super retro, and like I was looking for like an 80s movie, like an 80s horror movie I can watch just to feel the 1980s just surge through my body.
Yeah.
That sounded kind of weird. Anyways, ignore what I said.
No, I get
but like this was it. Like, and I turned it on Shudder yesterday. I was like, screw it. I'll watch it because this is a classic I heard, and I put it off for too long, and I'm gonna rewatch it again soon because I really enjoyed this one.
Yeah.
It has rewatch value, like,
oh, for sure. Yeah.
It's not like maybe let's think of a movie that doesn't have much rewatch value. The original Strangers. I can't watch that like over and over.
Yeah, that's fair. There's not really a lot like hidden in that movie of substance necessarily. It's just kind of this terrible event that happened to these people. Like,
this one was like thematic, so it was kind of like super different.
Yeah, there's a lot going on. There's a lot of like character interactions. And then, when you do finally get to the parts where like the Chud monsters are just slaughtering people, like it's really cool.
It's hardcore.
Yeah. So that's
For
definitely something to watch.
1986 at least, is it? 84.
Yeah, 84. Yeah, yeah. I mean, I agree. All these like older monster movies are just great because even if they're not like cheesy, they're at least interesting to watch.
Oh yeah.
You know, something like The Strangers or whatever other movie you can think of.
You can't just rewatch that.
Yeah, I mean, I've seen it like a few times, but I'm never really like.
I watched
You
it.
know, it'd be great to watch right now, just randomly. The Strangers.
Yeah, no, I don't do that. I watched it about 3 times. That's a movie you gotta watch like once every 5 years.
Yeah. Yeah, but yeah, Chud is a great dude. Like, I did really like that there was like a bigger scope to it, which was kind of cool. But I always kind of wondered what it would be like as a movie if it like just took place like in the sewers and it was just like a couple, like a group of people just like fighting these monsters and getting
I
killed.
think if they do make like a remake, they should make it like all sewer. They don't find out no government conspiracy, no nothing. They're just in the sewers for whatever reason. And this time, don't make it like adults. Make it like teenage douchebags.
Yeah, maybe. I mean, I still like the angle of making it like the homeless people are missing and everything because that's kind of what launched like the whole mystery in this film, which was pretty cool.
Oh yeah.
Like it got me, kind of hooked into the story because I was like, well, why are all the homeless people going missing,
And why does this guy at the soup kitchen care so much?
Right, yeah, exactly. So something like that could still be cool. I don't know if turning it into like a teenage thing is the right way to go for this movie because like I think it's fine to like steer away from parts of like, the original themes and everything like that, but I don't know if you should stray away from it too much.
I think it could be done. I think they're going through like these, the sewers. They start finding homeless people's clothes and like living locations.
Yeah.
Seeing they've been ransacked. There's like blood everywhere. There's like someone took like a quick snapshot of the monster or whatever the hell before it killed them, and then like out of one of those cameras that automatically prints the photo.
Yeah.
And like they find one of the photos. They're like, bro, is this serious, dude? Like, I don't know, man. I just trying to get home and play Fortnite. Like
Oh my
something.
God.
I think it could be done.
Yo, if that dude starts spaghetti dancing, I'm walking out of the theater.
That would be
I'm sorry.
hilarious.
I'm just saying. But I don't even really want to entertain the possibility of a Chud remake right now. But with everything that's been happening, it's probably more possible than I think. But it is a cult classic for sure. I think mostly off the back of the monsters themselves, which is kind of ironic given how sort of little screen time they have in the film. But
I think that's a good thing, though.
Yeah, it makes them more like enigmas, like mysterious, but and like scarier when you actually do see them,
And they don't have to show the, like the practical monster so much, because like if you show it too much, people will be like, all right, I see that's fake, and now I hate this movie.
Right.
This one was like just subtle enough.
Yeah, it was pretty perfect because like the guy's like throwing pictures at them, like look at his leg, like it looks like a tiger bit his leg off or whatever.
Dude,
he doesn't say that, but
speaking of 80s monster movies and like practical effects, I think the best practical effects done on an 80s monster movie was definitely Pumpkinhead. Like that was all practical. There was no CGI. Like that big monster thing was just a guy in a suit.
Well, that's why you have to watch Alien because that is just a guy in a suit too.
I would say like the 80s monster movies that showed their little practical effects monster too much and it ended up being like cheesy, like Pumpkinhead I think did it right. Like
yeah, because he was still like terrifying.
Yeah, like and you like he looked like a real monster. It didn't look like some guy in a suit or like a puppet, it looked legit. His tail was moving, which scary as crap because you're like, yo, people didn't mess with CGI back then, and if they did, it was just like some like Windows Movie Maker effect, like it was just like
because that was all like animatronics. They did the same kind of stuff in like The Thing and all those kind of
that's why I like
horror movies.
That's why those are super good when they use the puppet monsters, or like if you're gonna here's my advice. Well, not that anyone's making 80s monster movies now, but if you have practical effects and you're gonna show your monster, have it be more like Pumpkinhead. Don't have it. If you got a puppet, don't have it waltzing around like Thanksgiving. I gotta mention it because Thanksgiving's like here, so like that's how we kind of like we'll inject
Thanksgiving
into this conversation.
Yeah, but Thanksgiving had like a budget of like $10, so I don't know about that, but I hear what you're saying completely. Yeah,
you know what I mean. Like I said,
just make it natural.
Yeah, make it natural. No puppets. Don't show it too much. If you're gonna use a puppet, show like the puppet's face and use some like, you know, camera tricks to make it look like, you know.
Right, yeah.
And people just do too much. It's blah. And this movie was not that, though. This movie did it right. Alien did it right. Pumpkinhead did it right. These are 3 movies off the top that I can think of. Probably the Thing, like you said. Okay, so 4. That's about it for me. Like, that's all I can remember.
Yeah, no, I'm sure there's more, but Chud is definitely a great example for sure. Because, like you said, it was subtle enough to where like you don't really have to see the monster too much, so it's still effective.
Oh yeah.
It also helps that there were like a lot of them, which was pretty cool because it kind of reminds me of The Descent, which obviously came after.
Yeah.
But it's like a whole bunch of these creatures like attacking people. So
I think the moral of this movie is don't go into sewers.
Don't go into sewers, yeah.
And if you do go into sewers, don't run into a chud. And if the chuds somehow make it to the surface world, I don't know what to do. Shoot the guy who was covering it up. I don't know.
I guess, yeah. I don't know.
Spoiler alert.
Avoid homeless people maybe is also a lesson. I mean, that's kind of awful, but
Yeah.
don't avoid them.
Get away from them.
help them out if possible, but just make sure they're not a chud.
I think it's like a metaphor for like, we should help the homeless out because they eventually kill each other and us, so they'll be able to survive because no one wants to help them, so they forcefully gotta like dehumanize themselves to do these horrible things to survive.
Yeah.
I think that was, in all seriousness, like
Yeah,
but there was a lot of like, you know, socio-political stuff in here that I don't really want to go into because I don't care.
Yeah. but there are a lot of themes.
Yeah. We recognize them. It's just like whenever anyone starts to talk about politics, my mind is just like, all right, you're leaving.
Yeah.
Like, and I just don't listen. And I'm just like, I don't care. Like,
Yeah.
I've had enough. Like, I just want to enjoy horror without talking about the themes. We see the political themes. We're not troglodytes, you know, we understand and we can absorb all this information, you know, but sometimes it's just like, I guess it was cool because it was the 80s, but now whenever I see a horror movie do some political, just make a scary movie, man.
Yeah.
Like,
I mean, I don't think it's too overwhelming in Chud, which is good. Like, it's just enough to really kind of just play more on like the human aspect rather than making it like too political. So yeah, the movie is great. I like it a lot. If you haven't seen it, go check it out. Let us know what you think about it. Maybe if you like a potential remake or not. But we're going to move on now.
Oh, dude, you know who would? I think we got to talk about him since the movie today we're going to talk about was kind of inspired by him. Sam Raimi, bro, dude, Chud.
Yeah.
Can you imagine that?
Yeah,
that would be
sweet.
Crazy.
I think the practical effects on the Chud monsters would be like awesome.
They'd be able to show them a lot more. I think he should do it. I'm gonna contact him. I swear, I'm gonna email him. Yo, can you do a Chud remake?
Yeah.
What if he's like already planned? Like,
oh, then we would be prophets.
oh yeah, seriously. If we call this one, if Sam Raimi directs Chud, can you just give us gold? Like,
yeah, or let us be like executive producers or something. I don't know.
Let me act and direct, me and Barnabas. We can do this.
Yeah, I
Can
think
do
so.
it.
Yeah, we know these movies. So speaking of which, we're gonna move on to a couple hidden gems that we both like. But before we do that, we wanted to give a chance for some of the other shows on Sports Radio Detroit Network to give you their pitch.
Hi, this is Chris.
And this is Roger.
And if you like Tigers baseball, Major League Baseball, minor league baseball, analytics, pop culture references, movies, sports, food, check us out. Look for Tigers SRD on iTunes, Google Play, or Spotify.
Do you love pop culture? Discussions about pop culture? Ranking and rating treasured pieces of that shared culture against each other?
I mean, I do think Flea's a good bass player. He does what he does very well. And like I said, he's like a rock star, you know? He's eccentric. And what is so funny?
I just didn't know he talked so long about Flea. I didn't know anybody had so many feelings.
I do.
So many
I got
feelings.
yeah.
Music, movies, television, food, sports, pro wrestling. We are the determination of what is over or underrated across all fields of greater cultural consumption. Subscribe and review on Apple Podcasts and Podbean or visit us at sportsradiodetroit.com. Over Under Fair, your final word in pop culture relevance.
All right. So I like to call this segment Hidden Horrors. We're going to talk about 2 films that we feel are hidden gems in the horror genre.
And whenever we feel necessary, we're going to do this segment. If there's nothing like on chopping block or, you know, I wouldn't say these are cult movies, like Barnabas said, hidden gems. So you may or may not have heard of these. They don't really have like a big following, but we thought they were pretty good. And I don't know, these two for this week, I enjoyed both of them.
Yeah, same. So the first one that we want to kind of talk about here is I don't know if it's officially called this. I think it is. It's officially, I think, called Scared, but you may know it as Cutthroat.
Yeah, I have the DVD. I bought it from when they used to have those Suncoast DVD stores. I bought it from Eastland Mall. Or either that. No, that's where I got a different film. No, I got this one from FYE.
Oh, okay.
The Oakland Mall one.
Yeah.
Back in like 2003 or 4, something like that. Got it like shortly after it came out straight to DVD, and I got it for like $10. It said Cutthroat on the front, and it had like a sack, like a potato sack with an eye hole and a knife, and a guy holding a knife.
Nice.
I think it's officially Cutthroat, but people just call it Scared. I think Scared is what it is in the UK.
Oh, okay. Yeah,
Something
makes
like
sense.
that.
Something like that. So, yeah.
And it was directed by Keith Wally.
Yeah, it came out in 2002, and I think that the premise is kind of cool, but it definitely, it's on like the tail end there, kind of the whole like meta, kind of like woke, like slasher movie.
This is in like the same realm of Scream, Urban Legends. I Know What You Did Last Summer.
Yeah.
This is one of those movies, and you know me, I'm a sucker for this era of film because I was like 6-7 years old when like, these type of movies started getting big. It was like in the prime of my childhood.
Yeah.
Also the beginning of my childhood.
Right.
It's the prime.
So, I mean, basically 2002, we were like, what?
8 years old.
8 years old, yeah. So I had no idea about this film until you told me about it actually pretty recently. But it was a cool film. It follows this group of filmmakers who are, of course, trying to make a horror movie.
Yep.
And it's I mean, they're on like studio backlots and stuff, so it's not like a budget horror movie.
Yeah.
But they're trying to make a horror movie, and then there's a real killer on set. So it's not like a completely new premise, but 2002, I mean, I would think that this was like a pretty fresh concept back then. So,
because we're filming a movie and there's a kill. I think this was the first movie that did that.
Possibly, yeah. Let us know if you know people, but
unless you count, they weren't filming, but stage fright.
Yeah,
they were doing a play, and then Psycho guy snuck in. But this is the first movie that I ever saw. There's a killer on set.
Well, what year was Scream? Was it 3? Scream 3, I think.
Yes, it was.
With them on the like the movie set. I think that might have been after this. I'm not 100% sure.
I think that was like 03 or 04.
Okay. Well, we could be wrong, but anyway, a fresh concept in 2002, more or less. And yeah, these people are getting chased down by this killer. And of course, because of its kind of era, there's this whole mystery behind, who done it. Is it the actor? Is it the actress? Is it the producer? Is it the director?
Or is it someone else?
Right. Or is it 2 people? Is it, 15 people? I don't know. There's this whole mystery behind
everybody?
it. Right, yeah.
What if it's the obese security guard? Like, I'm just doing my job. Like, what part of your job description said killing everyone on set? It said eliminate all problems. I saw her eating pineapple with pizza. I eliminated the problem.
Oh man, let's not start that argument, okay?
Pineapples don't go on a pizza. Do
yes,
apple?
They do. Yes.
Name any other fruit.
Pineapple.
I hate you.
I thought this movie was pretty cool. I liked the concept a lot. Even after having watched other movies that have kind of explored this premise, I still liked it. The acting was not very good, but that's kind of to be expected.
No, especially the dude who played Nick, Luciano Saber. Like, it's like, dude, look, I'm 4 2.
Yeah.
So is Barnabas. We can still talk. He was like, if you're scared, then it's like, dude, like, talk like you would talk to a person. Don't blatantly act like
yeah, exactly. Yeah, we're not like talking crap about his accent or anything. He was just not a very good actor.
No, dude, I had an accent until I was like 7 years old.
So he was not good. I mean, quite frankly, not really any
Hamlin was
his
good
people
though.
were good. Yeah, he wasn't he the older guy? He was like
He was the freak with like the no facial hair and like the spiky gelled up hair.
Yeah.
He was the other director.
Yeah.
When I like the part where like the chick got stabbed and he's like, now that's a scream. Like
Yeah.
that was so good. This movie's super like unknown.
Mm-hmm.
You can find it on Tubi TV though, and I think we both highly recommend this one. Just check it
Yeah.
out, bro. It has all the early 2000s cheese,
Mm-hmm.
but hey, it has a nice score,
Mm-hmm.
and it has like surprisingly very, very decent cinematography.
Yeah, and honestly, like it kept me engaged. Like the story was decent enough to where I was like, all right, well, I guess it's not her.
Yeah.
So it's probably the insane director who's just jumping off the walls on like speed.
Yeah. Hey, any guy with spiky gelled up hair is no good.
The movie does pay homages to other films, similarly to the other horror slashers.
Really. Hey, the best thing about this movie is the killer guys, though. Like,
yeah, it was pretty cool.
dude, the outfit, the mask, it was all great, and like the scares too. Like, they do kind of come out the blue, which is what makes it good. If only like the actors were a little bit less acty. That's my problem. You're not. Okay, of course you're supposed to act, but you're not supposed to act like you're acting. Like that's what they were doing.
Right,
like,
yeah.
They acted like they were acting. Act like you're having a conversation. Like if you're like, hey man, what's going on? You just go up to him, hey bro, what's going on?
Yeah.
You don't go, hey bro, what's going on? Like relax. Don't enunciate so much, you piece of crap. Like
they probably felt like they had to like, oh, I'm on a movie set that's on a movie set, so I guess I have to act.
Yeah. Like, oh my god, who is the short blonde girl? Was that Samantha Cheek?
I believe so.
Kate Norby? Oh my gosh.
Yeah,
Dude, she's so annoying. Everyone knows someone like that. They need to go away. Just go away.
Yeah.
It's like, I think
I mean, yeah, she was probably like meant to be that way, but it was very agonizing.
It was. I'm so tired of like the blonde bimbo thing. Like that's, well, I guess it was kind of like a newer concept because it's 2002. Hey, she's blonde. She must be ridiculously dumb.
Yeah.
You don't see that nowadays because it's just like, it's like, all right.
Yeah, we get it.
While the dumbest people I have met are blonde, it's still a stereotype.
Yeah.
You can't get offended. I'm not making fun of a race. I'm making fun of your hair. It's not my choice. Dye it. I don't know. Get smarter. Read a book. I don't know. I have blonde hair, but it's not real because I'm smart.
Yeah, I mean, yeah, in opposition to like the 80s where, like there were still some dumb people, but like the blonde girls would usually be the final girls and stuff,
Yeah, they'd be like,
kind of weird.
hello? Everyone's missing. I'm gonna like get naked and take a shower. What's going on? Like that's pretty much.
There was a lot of that.
It was just like I don't know why. Like one guy made a blonde joke, and then everything in culture, movies, TV shows, commercials, they're like, can we make blondes dumb all the time? Meanwhile, the blonde chick sitting there, she has like her degree in psychology. She's really smart, and she has to act like she has to. How painful is that?
Yeah, there were definitely a lot of like kind of annoying cliches in this film, but
like that's what makes it so good because like it has every cliche.
Yeah. And I mean, it really went all out with it.
It's like, hey, killer tries to comfort potential victim. A third into the movie, you remember when Nick was talking? What's her name? Heather Roberts. Mm-hmm. That was her name, right? That was
I believe so. Yeah.
Yeah, and okay, so the smart one is Samantha. Okay, yeah. So Heather Roberts is the annoying one. Raquel Horton.
Yeah, this person.
Oh God, yeah, that's her. Oh Lord.
Yeah, she was pretty annoying for sure.
They did a great job at that. If that's what they were going, can we like annoy the audience?
Yeah.
Well, here's
there is kind of
Raquel Horton.
There is kind of always that one girl because even in Scream 3, I believe it was, on the film set, that one actress was pretty annoying.
Oh my God.
So
the one that they got attacked after the house blew up or whatever.
Yep. So
that's the one. Like, spoiler alert: she survives in this movie.
Yeah, it's pretty annoying.
Oh boy! Even though she gets stabbed, and she's like, "I was wearing a police vest." Like, where did your dumbass get a police vest? Where?
Yeah. So, but still, totally worth checking out. It's a fun movie, and if you like I know what you did last summer, Scream, then you'll enjoy this one.
Dope killer, great premise, acting, meh.
Yeah.
But it's interesting. Like you won't want to turn it off. Trust me. Right off, right. I like how it starts off showing you the movie that like
They're making.
basically the movie starts off as not the movie, but the movie that they're making, and you're like, this is the movie? No, this is our scene of the movie we're making, and you're like, whoa,
like mind blown.
Like first met a movie like this, so it's like.
It was pretty cool.
Just exploding.
Actually, though, Tales from the Crypt kind of did it first, I think, because I believe in one of them, they're like the Crypt Keeper is like making a movie, and then it's like
gosh.
not. But anyway, but yeah, but go check out Cutthroat, aka Scared.
You can find it on Tubi TV. Download the app. There's literally 1,300 horror movies.
Yeah, and it's free. I mean, you might get some ads potentially, but
It didn't have ads before, weirdly enough. They just recently added
I
ads.
think they added it, but still worth
They're like
it.
30-second ads, like 3 times.
Yeah.
So like, go see Scared on Tubi TV.
Right, yeah. If you're not 2 years old, then you probably have sat through ads before. It's fine.
Oh yeah, they're called commercials. You guys remember cable? I know it's been a while. But you
It did
know,
exist.
I mean, I still have it just because Xfinity has a lot of.
What's a cable, Grandpa Samael?
Shut up.
So yeah, go check it out. The next movie that we're going to talk about in this hidden horrors segment is not quite as readily available, but if you are able to find it, I thought it was great, and I think it'd be worth a watch or a search if you're interested. So this next movie is a French horror film called Livid or Livide.
With an E at the end.
Yeah, that would be in French, I believe.
And it was made in 2011. That's when it was released. And it's a vampire flick. But the great thing about this movie is for like the majority of the movie, you have no idea.
Kind of From Dusk Till Dawn-ish. Like
Yeah.
you're not really sure what it is because it seems more of like a
supernatural thing.
Yeah, potentially supernatural thing, but also kind of like this kind of home invasion sort of deal.
Yeah, like Don't Breathe, like you mentioned earlier.
Yeah. So basically, this nurse or home health aide, whatever she is, she and her boss go to this old lady's house to like take care of her, and the girl finds out that there's like a legend that the old lady has like a treasure in the house somewhere.
Yep.
So she comes back later at night with her boyfriend and their friend, and they try to look for it. And then they're basically trapped in the house. They get separated, and they find all this weird stuff about this lady. And she used to be a ballet dancer, and she had a daughter, and et cetera, et cetera. I don't want to spoil too much of the rest of the story because I think it's actually really interesting.
If you can find this one, it's really hard. I can't suggest using streaming services, like free streaming services like Kodi, because I think you should buy the movie.
Yeah,
I mean,
it's
even
weird.
rent it. I mean, we're all for like supporting horror and not like supporting horror. Be like, yeah, I support you guys. Like, no, just buy the film. $11 or whatever the hell it costs. Like, don't buy a pack of cigarettes just one day and just kill 2 hours with this film. I mean, it's atmospheric.
Yeah.
It's really dark. The whole movie's dark.
I was just gonna say,
it's
yeah,
not
it is
happy
really
at all. They don't like show like almost any like sunlight in this movie.
Yeah. Not only in mood is it dark, but it's just, I mean, it takes place at nighttime mostly in this like old, sick lady's house.
If you can call that a house, that's a big.
Yeah, it's like a mansion.
Yeah.
Because I think it used to be like the dance academy when she was like teaching ballet or whatever.
Yeah.
So it's an awesome house. It's a great setting, great atmosphere.
It's pretty bloody.
Yeah, it is pretty gory, which
And-
I like a lot.
You know what? Usually I'm not for gory films, but like this one had like the perfect amount.
Yeah.
Plus, vampire movies need gore. Like that's just that just comes with the territory.
Yeah, it's just really cool to me because it had this duality to it, because you come into it expecting this entirely different film, and then once you kind of realize what it is, you're pleasantly surprised.
Yeah, dude. Like, you remember when we were watching it? Like, dude, 3/4 into the movie, I remember I turned to you. I was like, "Yo, is this a vampire movie?" Or,
I was like, what is going on?
is this like what is this cannibal ghosts?
Yeah. I was just super excited actually because I was like, yo, I didn't know this was a vampire movie.
I remember you told me about this movie, right?
Yeah, I did. Yeah, I just saw like pictures of it before.
Yeah, and I never heard of it. This should not be as low key as it is. They need to bring this on Shudder. Let's contact Shudder. I mean, Shudder is not like super huge, so I'm pretty sure like they'll get to our emails. It's not like we're emailing, Steve Jobs. No, he's dead. But it's not like we're we're emailing Bill Gates. Like, yo.
Yeah. Yeah, well, they do have a thing where you can like request films, but then it also depends on like the licensing and stuff like that.
Screw that. We go on our email account and be like, "Hi, this is Barnabas. I have my own podcast called Grave Discussions. We reviewed your movie."
Well, I'm just saying, like,
and then like right away, bro. Like
I'm just saying for them to acquire the film, it depends on things like licensing and stuff like that. Like if they can get rights to stream the film.
Are you wearing a red shirt, a red hat, and you have red headphones?
Yes.
Purposely?
Apparently. I didn't want to have the headphones, but I had to.
I literally just noticed it right now. I was like, this guy.
Yeah. Well, the shirt and the hat are for the Red Wings because they're playing today.
Yeah, we have.
But yeah, the red headphones are just like random. And you know what's funny as heck too? Like the bars like in Audition right now, they're both red.
Nice.
For some reason. I don't know what's happening, but anyway.
Speaking of red, there was a lot of blood in Livid.
There was, yeah. And I liked the amount of gore a lot.
The ending was depressing. The whole movie came back to me.
Yeah.
I remember the whole like, hey, now you're like me.
Yeah.
Jump. Like
so the movie gets pretty like progressively weirder. And it kind of has some like fairy tale elements to it. So basically, there's kind of a lot going on in this film, but I don't know. It wasn't like super overwhelming to me. I just thought that the twists were cool, and it wasn't like silly or goofy or anything. Like you said, it was dark. So
it was dark. That's why even if a movie sucks, if you have a great atmosphere, it doesn't.
Oh yeah.
Because like to me, atmosphere and score, those go hand in hand. This had both of those. I remember the score now too. Like it came as the more we're talking about this, the more it starts coming back. And like the score and the atmosphere for me is like 60% of the movie.
Yeah.
Like, substance, I'm gonna be real with you. I don't give a crap if you have any metaphors in your movie. If it doesn't scare me or make me feel like uneasy or like I'm gonna go to hell for watching it. Like
Right.
you know what I mean? Like
Yeah.
that I didn't get that real sense of dread, like dang, something bad's gonna happen to me. Like that feeling you get with movies like Dark Song, Lake Mungo, you know what I mean?
Yeah.
That's that feeling, you know. No, or even have you seen I would even say Castle Freak had that kind of feel to it.
Yeah, sort of, yeah.
Unnameable,
For sure.
those type of movies will always trump all these jump scare movies. Like for me, sure, a jump scare you'll scare me for about 2 seconds.
Right.
But like there's nothing like making me feel uneasy for like 30 minutes wondering what's around every corner. And like I said before, it's not about what's there. It's about while you're watching it for the first time, what you think is going to happen, what you think is there, like what you think happened. Like that's the importance. That's the substance. For me, atmosphere and suspense brings all the substance. The story doesn't to me.
Mm-hmm. Yeah, cuz like in this film when she like first met that old lady and she looks really creepy, first of all, and she's like laying there in that big bed. Yeah. And they talk about like the treasure and and stuff, like the purported treasure. I was like, okay, something's gonna happen with this treasure. I don't know what, but something. I wasn't expecting the vampire twist at all, which is why it was so good.
Yeah.
Because I thought it was gonna be like, oh, they find a box of gold, and then the old lady's a leprechaun. I don't know, or something.
Could have been anything.
Yeah, literally. But it was like. No, the twist was awesome, and to kind of go off of what you were just saying, like after they like got to the house, literally like every scene after that, just like steadily got not only like more atmospheric and creepier, but just like weirder, and then there were like monsters. So yeah, it never really let up. Like I was pretty fascinated by it the whole time. Yeah.
It's like one of those movies like you just feel like extremely uncomfortable while watching it.
Yeah, exactly.
Not like uncomfortable like I don't like this. Uncomfortable like damn it. Yeah. You're just like waiting till like you're just like, man, I'm gonna have mental issues after watching. It's like one of those like just it takes your mind to this dark place. Like for me, those like deeply suspenseful movies just like when you hear like just the background, like just the bass, like.
Right. Yeah. Exactly.
And you're just like, oh no.
or even in like this where, like, well, I don't want to spoil it, but there's some scenes of a certain character in this film where they're just kind of being shown on screen, and that something is going to happen, but like maybe 5 minutes go by and then finally it happens. So there's a lot of cool scenes in this film.
And for this, like the happenings weren't like really explicit. Like when you found the old. When you saw the old lady, you're like, that's creepy. And then they found her daughter, and you're like, okay, it's getting weird. And then people start drinking blood, and you're like, the fuck is going on?
Yeah, exactly. Yeah, it was really cool.
Each type of delivery at the end of like a large moment of suspense was different. That's what I liked. It wasn't just like the same crap over. Oh, look, the killer's around this corner now. No, it wasn't like that.
Yeah, it kind of really felt like they almost approached the script like they just started writing one type of movie, and then at a certain point they were like, it'd be really cool if she's like jumped on this dude's neck and just like bit the crap out of him and just started sucking his blood.
Why would she do that? This was supposed to be no.
She's a vampire.
She's a vampire now. Chris, have you been drinking?
Yeah. So that's basically kind of how it was, but like not in a bad way, I thought
it was
they did it
so
in a great
good.
way. Yeah.
Watch Livid, dude. Do they have the Blu-ray on Amazon?
So I think that there's a DVD you can get on Amazon. I don't know how much it costs, but yeah, the movie is a little hard to find, but you can definitely find it. Maybe like check eBay or something.
Yeah, it's definitely worth it. Like this is one of those movies. If you're with a chick,
yeah,
and you're Netflixing and you're chilling, or Xfinity and Virginity, whichever one you're doing, this is the movie.
Yeah, it's a good one. And this is actually the second film by the same dudes who did Inside, the French one, the crazy one.
No wonder it's. I still have yet to watch the French one.
Yeah, it's insane, dude. It's like even bloodier than this, but it's great. It's also got a very interesting premise.
Nice. I like extreme cinema.
Yeah.
I honestly, I don't care about the premise. Like I said, for me, the substance is not in the story. Like the substance is in the delivery, and like I said, how it makes you feel. Like you could have a horror movie, just your stereotypical slasher, but if you make it suspenseful enough, atmospheric enough, hopeless enough, that's the word I'm looking for, hopeless.
Yeah.
Then you have yourself a good movie. Like if you're just willy-nilly making your story super complicated to compensate for the fact that you have very little like skills in like building suspense and using camera angles and score to build suspense, then that's not going to do it for me, man. I think for me it's just because I've been watching horror since I was like 5. Like the technical aspects are super important. I never really cared for the story of any horror. Like that's why nowadays with the whole backstory, oh, he's a killer because people were mean to him. I don't give a crap.
I mean, you still have to have a good plot, but
I don't know. For me, if you pay attention to like the plot like too much, if you get too involved, then it makes the film not scary. Like the new Halloween. The new Halloween was like interesting. Like I wasn't scared at all ever.
Yeah, I mean, it still has to be intriguing. Like you don't have to have a complicated plot or anything, but it still has to at least interest you know.
Because like for me, if the plot gets too complicated, then it's just not scary. Like if I have to put together a million pieces, that's cool. But if I have to like, let me think of a movie that was like super complicated but like not great. All right, first let me give you a movie that did it right with giving you a lot of information and delivering, and you really have to pay attention to Shutter Island. I think that's one of the best movies I've ever watched.
That was very
but
good.
a movie that overcomplicates things is the new Halloween. You give us all this character development and the story, and you just kind of like make the horror less horrifying.
Right.
That's just how I feel. I mean, you know what you're talking about. I disagree. Well, I don't give a crap about you. Okay?
Yeah.
It didn't scare me. Well, then something's wrong with you. No, something's wrong with you for being scared that easy by something that's not scary. If it doesn't scare me, I don't feel it. Like,
yeah. It's also that, to kind of like accommodate that, like you just have to take away scenes in order to put in like dialogue and stuff like that.
I don't care about dialogue. Like, dude, you can make a great movie and the only premise is, look, there's 5 people and there's this mansion that they stumbled upon. What's going to happen?
Yeah.
And how you build the suspense for what's going to happen is the important part, not what's actually there. Like,
Yeah.
but once something is actually there, that's when you got to have a little more action than suspense. And like a lot of movies just have suspense. 1 minute of climactic battle, suspense.
Yeah.
Solution. You know, I don't like that whole.
There's not enough oomph.
There is not enough oomph. Like if you need as much. Okay, double the suspense of however much oomph there is, double that suspense.
Yeah.
However much oomph you're planning on putting in this movie, double the suspense. That's what makes it good.
Yeah.
Don't make us wait around the whole movie, you know, for something to happen. Like a movie that actually went through with this well, built suspense, little things happen there. Very few climactic scenes in Hereditary.
Yeah.
But like the feelings, bro, like
There was like dread throughout the entire
when the little
film.
girl's head came off, and then the kid seeing these visions, and he's banging his head off the table and having these crazy nightmares. Like that did it right, and Livid did it right. If you can, get yourself a copy of Livid.
Yep, I agree with that completely. Check it out. It is in French. It might be a little hard to find, but it's worth it. So next up, we want to talk about a newer film that just came out, and we do this in a segment where we explore a movie that's out on a streaming service or that just came out on VOD or whatever. And, you know, usually a hotter movie, if you're thinking you might want to watch it, we've seen it, and we're going to give you our recommendation of whether you should or not. And this is The Chopping Block.
This week's Chopping Block, we have a fantastic, spoiler alert, there's my opinion on it already, Indonesian, supernatural, demonic, undead horror film called May the Devil Take You.
Yep. This one is directed by Timo Sarjanto. I believe we spoke about this film last week. It was
on the trailers or something, right?
It was in the news, I think.
The news, yeah.
Yeah, because it was being kind of called a Raimi-esque movie.
It really was, too.
It really was, yeah. So it came out this year, and the premise may sound sort of familiar to you. It's about a group of people who go to a house in the middle of the woods, basically, and there's some crazy, and they summon this demonic force.
So basically, there's a girl named Alfie.
Yeah.
And her stepbrother, Ruben. These don't sound like Indonesian names. And then Ruben's mom and Ruben's two sisters, they go to visit Alfie's dad in the hospital. And dude, this movie right off the bat starts off with the horror. Well, actually, it starts off with Alfie about to get groped by some pervert piece of crap on the train, which kind of shows you, like, in like these other countries, there's like the problem of like women just getting felt up onto, and these guys should be beheaded and beaten to death with a hammer. Not that I condone violence, but against sexual predators, I condone violence. Do whatever you want to them. I don't care. Anyways, so it cuts to the hospital. You know, you're wondering, you know, what's this girl doing? And you know, slightly before this, you see like a long time ago, her dad makes like a deal with some sort of demon for cash. And it can only be paid in souls. So Alfie's going to the hospital. She's going to go visit her dad. And as she's visiting her dad, weird crap happens. Like, he wakes up terrified, pointing at something. And then she looks over and you just see this scary, terrifying silhouette with long nails.
Yeah.
And the shadow just waiting behind that curtain. And then slowly it starts moving forward. Then it turns and there's nothing there. But behind Alfie is the lady.
Yeah.
And then it turns out to be her dad, and he's like, blah, 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 blah. He woke up from his coma or whatever. He's like, he throws up on his, like, old stepdaughter or whatever. Now they're at the house, you know, the ex-wife or whatever, the gold digger's like, check if there's, like, a safety deposit box somewhere. He could be hiding cash, you know. They're arguing about the house. She slaps her old stepdaughter, Alfie, or whatever. And then Ruben goes to comfort her. So there's a lot of character development going on with Alfie's like inner struggles and outer struggles with her family, her father's illness, selling the house and all that. But none of that matters when crap hits the fan. So for some reason, they open this door because...
That leads to the cellar.
Yeah. Sound familiar?
Right.
And then this gold digging wench, she's like, you know, let's check if there's any money down there. And then by doing that, they release the demonic presence that the father had tried to keep at bay, which they revealed to you later. He killed the person that was the witch that was inhabited by the spirit of, as they say in the movie, Iblis, which is the devil, the Islamic devil.
Yeah.
Which is the equivalent of me, Samael. But anyway, so the premise is, well, not the premise, but so basically they open the cellar door and, Alfie's arguing with her stepmom. Then all of a sudden, the little girl, what was her name? Tara?
Nara?
Nara, yeah. Nara.
Nara.
Nara's like, and she's like pointing at her stepmom. And then a hand drags that wench, that gold digging wench, deservedly so, into the cellar. And then, Mom. And now this is where crap really hits the fan. This is where it all starts getting crazy. Mama comes out the cellar, but she does not want a hug or gold anymore. She's not a gold digger anymore. Now she's a soul digger.
Oh.
I've been waiting to say that the whole episode. Yeah, I was like, well, that's a good joke. But so she comes out. She starts, trying to strangle her real daughter.
Yeah.
What was her name? Maya,
yeah.
And then here comes Alfie, takes a hammer to her head. And, we think all is well. There's a hammer inside her skull. No blood flow to that part of the brain. She's bleeding out. Because that's what happens to human bodies when they get a hammer put in their damn head.
Right.
But not this quote-unquote human being. Apparently, gold diggers are resilient. So
gold diggers are immortal.
This demonic gold digger, she gets up now. You see her black eyes. She's like blood's dripping down her face. Somehow she's like throwing up blood.
Yeah.
She starts climbing the corner of the room. She like gets on a table and is like, your debt will be paid with souls. And then she starts dancing on the table like a maniac, and then does like a RVD senton through the window.
Yeah, so the entirety of the film that's happened up until that point sets up the remainder, which is even crazier. And I don't want to
crazy.
Yeah, I don't want to spoil the rest of it.
That's how we'll leave you at that part. So now you know what's going on, and the demon is like really Evil Dead-esque. Like not in terms of like the eyes. The eyes are different, because they are. But like the whole like the spaced out angry look.
Yeah, the
like
movement,
the movements, especially the climbing the corner and like when she was standing still right before she did the senton through the window, when she was just like and the blood was coming down, and she was just like, and Maya was like, Mama.
Yeah, the makeup was really effective, but I think those crazy scenes are cool, but there's a lot of like subtle scary scenes that are even more effective to me.
Dude, with Nara in the bed, the closet scene. Oh,
that was really good. I was thinking in particular, there's one scene where and I don't want to spoil what happens in the scene, but basically Maya and Alfie are out in the woods.
Oh yeah.
And there's a really, really effective and honestly pretty scary, like little scene where you see like the mom, and it's just great.
Initially you see her just barely, then the closer the flashlight gets, and we don't want to ruin it. I just wanted to give you guys like the beginning, because I know some people are like, you recommend the film, but we don't all have the same taste, yada yada yada. But now you know the beginning, and pretty sure this sounds pretty dope to anyone.
I think so, yeah. I wasn't really, I didn't really know what to expect. I mean, I just heard that it was kind of like Evil Dead-ish, but it's not only a great homage, but it's just a really effective film. Like there was a ton of scenes that just made me feel like real uneasy.
Yeah, I think all the scenes made me feel uneasy.
Yeah,
dude. The thing about this movie, great character development. The cinematography was like erratic, but it was perfect. Like there was no flaws with the cinematography. Like at no point was like, well, I would have done no.
Yeah, I wasn't ever like confused as to like what I was seeing.
Exactly.
Yeah.
Like you always know what you're seeing. The action sequences are always like super intense, and the ending kind of, I don't want to spoil. I'll just say the grave part. It kind of reminded me of Drag Me to Hell.
Yeah, kind of.
That's the first when she's screaming, with the hair.
well, yeah. It's a Raimi film, so it was. I thought of the same thing. I was like, wow, this person just really loves Sam Raimi.
Yeah.
Like, you're giving him props after props.
This is the love letter. We still got to see Wither. We could probably talk about that one for chopping block next week, because everyone has Prime. But like, this was well done. It had, like I said, sometimes movies give too much story and substance. This one right off the bat, hey, I made a deal with the devil. Now you guys got to pay.
Yeah.
It did good in character development because it actually, when one of the characters dies and you don't expect it, and that kind of like, I was like, no way, they shouldn't have did that. But that's how you know it's good, when you're like, no.
Yeah, you actually care.
Yeah, the character development was done well. The scares, there were kind of jump scares here and there, but they were delivered perfectly. It wasn't like just 8 minutes of walking through a hall, then like a ghost with a sheet pops up.
But like I said, I think that the couple like more like slower paced scares were really good.
They were like I said, the Nara and watch for a scene when the little girl is in her bed and there's a voice whispering to her. Oh boy.
Yeah, that scene was great. That scene, the woods scene, and like the first hospital scene, those are like my favorite scenes.
Yeah. My favorite scene was like I would say the closet scene with Nara.
Yeah, that was really good.
That was my favorite. I mean, dude.
There was a lot of like pretty creative cinematography in those scenes too, which I think really helped a lot.
Oh yeah.
The framing was really good. The score was very good.
Oh, I like the score. It was like doo doo
Yeah.
like that doo doo like that I forgot. I heard another movie with that same score. It had like doo doo doo, like, you know, that little
it was surprising.
Silent Rage. That if you ever seen basically it's Chuck Norris versus Michael Myers.
Nice.
So there's a guy with mental issues and he gets taken to this facility after he gets shot by the police, and they inject him with this stuff that makes him like regenerate tissue immediately, and he literally wears a coveralls too. We gotta watch this. I gotta show it to you.
And the only person that can stop him is Chuck Norris, of course.
You know how he beats him? He does a Death Valley driver on him into a well.
Holy crap.
It's dope. I gotta show you this.
Yeah, we gotta watch that. But May the Devil Take You is great.
10 out of 10 for me for this film. Honestly,
it was awesome, yeah.
Dude, I hope Sam Raimi sees this movie.
I hope so.
And hopefully these two directors can work together
that'd be awesome.
on like a film. Make it Hollywood too, you know, not some straight to Netflix stuff. You know, like, dude, I want to see a new Sam Raimi movie so bad.
I think he's got something coming out. I think we even talked about it.
I just want it to be like at the forefront of like Hollywood though. Like, you know how Blumhouse is getting all the attention because of like Insidious, Paranormal Activity, Conjuring, Halloween. I think Sam Raimi needs to make his comeback and let people know who the king of supernatural is.
I don't know if he's directing any horror movies upcoming, but he's one of my favorites, so
dude,
I think he needs to.
I just watched freaking Evil Dead 2 last week, and then I wanted to watch the original again soon, and I want to watch Army of Dark. Honestly, Evil Dead 1 has a special place though. Like, I know Army of Darkness is like a classic, but like to me, like undead supernatural, like let's say like Evil Dead and Night of the Demons, those are like those are the two best ever for me.
Yeah.
And this is up there too now.
Yeah,
this is up there
one's
too.
Awesome. I mean, I love the homages, but it really kind of did its own thing very well. You know, it's not the same story. It's just kind of similar.
Yeah, they didn't summon it from, you know, the Necronomicon or anything of that sort.
It was like a demon like priestess or something, which was cool. I don't know. It might even be like an Indonesian, like, you know, like myth or something like that.
Yeah, we're not really too familiar with the culture, so
yeah. But it was very cool.
Gore was nice.
The gore was great. Yeah, it wasn't too excessive. I thought it was just the right amount of gore, even though it was a lot.
There was a lot of disgusting stuff, like throwing up blood and stuff like that.
Which is why it almost reminded me more of the remake of Evil Dead, like I was saying to you earlier, versus the original. Even though the original was like kind of disgusting, but you know the remake had a lot of that, like, you know, vomiting blood on people's faces and, you know, all that kind of stuff. So.
I really enjoyed the remake too.
Yeah, it was great. I mean, this movie I think is like the perfect, like, unofficial, you know, kind of like
reimagining
of the Evil Dead remake.
Yeah,
and the original.
This was a fantastic movie and rewatch value too, because like it doesn't. Dude, yesterday so many times I rewatched the whole scene, like the bed scene. As soon as it ended, I watched it again, and I rewinded it again.
Yeah.
There's a lot of times I kept rewinding just because of like how great it was. This dude is a great director.
Yeah, I actually replayed that like woods scene,
And I
think, like,
replayed
2 or 3 times.
the curtain scene in the hospital.
Yeah, I mean, there were still some issues with the movie. I mean, I think that there were a couple scenes where the CGI on the monster was like a little too obvious, and it kind of took me out of it. But
I think the scene
It
where
wasn't too
where
bad.
her mom died, that's where it was kind of.
yeah, that was kind of weird because it was like this like I don't know, just really CGI heavy kind of flashback deal. But
Yeah.
it didn't mess up the movie for me.
Not at all, no.
But
I
there were
was just
just
like, there's the one scene.
yeah, there were a couple of parts I was like, yeah, but overall it was actually scary to me.
Yeah, me too, dude. Like, I mean, I was
Yeah.
watching this and I was like, yo, this is crazy.
Mm-hmm.
I remember after the part in the woods with Maya,
Yeah.
after the hammer scene, I was like, yo, this movie's pretty intense. And I remember you messaged me like twice. You're like, yeah, this movie's pretty crazy. And then when you were done with it, you're like, yeah, holy crap, dude, that movie was crazy. I was like, dude, it gets worse than this? Holy crap. Not
Yeah,
worse
it
as
really
in like
does.
bad at all. Worse as in like good, like as in like extreme. And all.
Crazier, yeah.
Dude, it got progressively crazy. Like it didn't, bro, it did not tone things down even for 1 second. Like even if it did, I'm talking like each scene had something happening. It was
Yeah.
never just like, hey, I'm on the phone. Hey, okay, bye. Like,
You know what this kind of reminded? Well, obviously the Evil Dead remake and the original, but this kind of also reminded me of like some old like Lucio Fulci movies because they always like start off with this kind of innocent concept, and then at the end of the movie, this dude's like in limbo and there's zombies everywhere, and it's like that. Like it's just something that you think will get pretty wild and out there, but by the end of the movie, it's way above expectations. So
dude, now for me, this is going down as like a classic in my eyes for like in terms of like undead demon movies.
Yeah.
So now for me is number 1 for me is Evil Dead. Number 2 is Night of the Demons. Number 3, Demons.
yeah.
Number 4, this.
Okay.
And then number 5, the Evil Dead remake.
That's good list. Yeah, that's fair.
That's my like top 5. Like,
Yeah, this movie's great. We kind of put it on this pedestal. I recommend it. It's not chopped for me.
no, never chop. I highly recommend this one. If you don't have Netflix right now, what are you doing with your life? Watch May the Devil Take You, and if you don't, I hope he does.
Yeah, right. Exactly. Yeah, this movie and
You go to hell, and you die.
this movie and another one that just came out called Cam, which we talked about last week as well. I heard really good things about
So
that
did
one.
I.
So go check out this. Let us know what you guys think about all the movies that we talked about today.
And hopefully this one made it into your top 5 demonic, supernatural,
I hope so.
undead possession, etc., etc.
Yeah, if you watch this, let us know if we were right about it or if you hated it and why.
And make sure you follow us on social media. That's Grave Discussions on Facebook. On Instagram, we're also Grave Discussions. On Twitter, we're Grave Disc SRD. And you can also check us out on our main website at gravediscussions.net. And once again, make sure you check out Sports Radio Detroit on all their platforms.
Yep.
And when are we going to see everyone again?
We're going to see them next week.
On Grave Discussion.
This has been an SRD production.